My boyfriend verbally assaulted my best friend's boyfriend. My best friend is now distant and I don't know whose side to take. F them all honestly. 2 nights ago my best friend and her boyfriend came to mine and my boyfriend's house for dinner and drinks. I'll call them Jack and Jill, because they definitely went up the hill. This was the first time my boyfriend had met them. Everything was going fine at first. Jill and I were catching up, my boyfriend and Jack were having beers and talking football while my boyfriend manned the barbecue. While we were eating, Jack and Jill brought up that they are looking at rentals in the area. Jill wanted to be closer to her family and her job was one she could do remotely. I was ecstatic to get my best friend back in town. They said Jack was having a hard time finding work though and they needed 2 incomes to be able to afford a place in our area. Jack graduated with a political science degree. He said he'd applied to some local newspapers and some positions for the city. He also had applications with various campaigns and political groups. My boyfriend chimed in and said if Jack was interested he could work for him. My boyfriend runs a small car detailing company. He has 3 work vans that he outfitted for car detailing. Basically he drives to people's homes and cleans their cars. He's booked out months in advance. It's actually quite impressive and he makes good money. He offered to train Jack and pay him $24 an hour to start if Jack could commit to at least a year of working for him. Jack kind of scoffed at the offer and told my boyfriend he didn't spend tens of thousands on a degree to clean cars. Which I can understand. But it did come across as rude. My boyfriend said fair enough. But here's where I think my boyfriend took it to the next level. He asked Jack who was paying for the gas for their road trip. Jack didn't answer. He asked Jack who was paying for their food on the trip. Jack didn't answer. He asked him how they would get approved for a rental if he couldn't verify employment. Jack was visibly getting ticked off. I hinted to my boyfriend he needed to cut it out but he kept going with the questions and eventually Jill interrupted and said it was time for them to leave. This was the first time I'd seen her in a long time and they were supposed to crash at our place that night. Before they left she told me my boyfriend was an a-hole and she wouldn't be coming back if he was there. Boyfriend and I fought all night. I asked him why he couldn't just bite his tongue for the sake of keeping the peace and that everything was going great till that conversation. He told me Jack was pretentious wuss and he was trying to help my friends out by offering him a job. I told him it was a nice gesture but understood why Jack didn't want a blue-collar job making $24 an hour after spending a ton of money on college. He responded by telling me that a blue-collar job is why he's able to pay for this house and all your stuff. I work part-time, but he does cover most of our expenses. This was the first time he's ever thrown that in my face in our relationship. I called him an a-hole. He's been sleeping on the couch. It's been a bad vibe between us. I don't know how to approach the situation. Jill and I have been texting and she said I'm not coming around again unless my boyfriend apologizes to Jack. When I told boyfriend this he said Jack can go flip burgers and F off. I can't leave my boyfriend and I do love him. But I want to be able to hang out with my best friend, especially when she moves back. I don't know what to do. That night I messaged my best friend Jill and told her that we needed to meet in person, just us, and find a way to make this fall out right. She agreed and told me she had something to tell me. In hindsight I was not prepared for what she told me. We met at a local bar, just the 2 of us. And once again, I was not expecting things to go the way they did. Originally they were supposed to stay the night at our place the night of the barbecue. When they left after the incident they went to Jill's father's and stepmother's house. They weren't expecting them till the following night. When they asked what happened Jack and Jill told them about the job offer incident. And they didn't get the response they were expecting. Turns out, and I don't know how I didn't know this, my boyfriend has been detailing Jill's father and stepmother's cars once a month since before we were even together. They're a well-known real estate team in our area. My boyfriend does their show cars that they use to shuttle around prospective buyers when looking at properties. They had nothing but glowing things to say about my boyfriend. Jill said she told her father in private about the way in which Jack refused the job offer and his comment about not spending thousands on college to clean cars. She said her dad laughed in her face and said her boyfriend probably makes about as much as I do, if not more, right? Her dad told her how my boyfriend does almost everyone's cars in his office and that he's referred him to tons of people that he's sold homes to. When Jill told him that he offered Jack $24 an hour with a year-long commitment he told her that Jack would be a fool not to jump on it and that if he could still get the job they could live with them and save money during that year to put down on a place. He also told her that her and Jack's elitist attitude was troubling and that he raised her better and was disappointed in her. She said she felt like crap about how everything went down and seeing her dad look at her that way made her realize how in the wrong they were.